Yes.
So our first order of business is to review the minutes and approve the minutes from last meeting on February 13th.
I'll move to approve the minutes.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So, we have one case tonight, 11 Nichols Avenue. So, tell us what you'd like us to know, please. Well, it's pretty simple, this case.
It is pretty simple. My father and I purchased this building in January, 11 Nichols Ave. It is a 4-unit building, currently 3 residential units and 1 commercial unit. It's about 4,500 square feet, and it's on about 7,070 feet of a lot. And our purpose is simply to convert the commercial space in front. It's about a 400 square foot studio space into a residential space.
So it's vacant now?
The whole building is currently vacant, yes.
The whole building is vacant?
I'm in the process of renting it. I purchased it vacant.
So is it 3 separate units on the other floors? Are they?
Yeah.
They're individual units?
Right, so it's like a triple decker with a studio in front,
Yeah,
if you can
yeah.
imagine that.
So, do we have a staff report?
Sure. I can be as brief as that, since I think you've all read the staff report. This is in the LB zone, which allows residential only, and I think that that's the critical piece, is that we looked at that and looked at the surrounding areas. And oftentimes we would suggest that we would want to keep commercial on the first floor. This has been used as a studio in its past history. And we believe that with the context of where it is, that allowing it to be a 4-unit apartment complex basically is appropriate use for the site. And we looked at in the NB zone, this transition from 3 to 4 triggers a special permit with site plan review. So we looked at all 4 special permit criteria as well as the 10 criteria for site plan review. And staff didn't see any issues with any of the criteria. We looked at the site, the landscaping, all the site is basically laid out as efficiently as you can make it. There is a right-of-way that's existing, so you can remove that part of the asphalt easily. So staff recommended that the existing site as laid out is appropriate for the use as a 4-unit residential rather than a 4-unit mixed-use site, and recommend approval. See if there's any conditions that are different than standard. And we kept just the standard conditions of the site. There's no changes to the proposal. So that's the staff's brief report for this 11 Nichols Avenue site.
So, you've all read this, have we? Yeah. Do you have any questions on the board?
I honestly thought the building was all residential to begin
Yeah.
with, so just given the neighborhood and the buildings there, so. And there's no changes to the building, internal, external, just outside of building permit type stuff.
Right.
You mentioned renovations. What do those consist of?
No, there are no renovations necessary to use it as a residential space.
I thought you said that you were renovating it now.
I'm renting it now. It's
Renting it.
vacant.
Okay,
Gotcha.
all right.
So probably won't be a lot of questions in the audience.
Actually, I do have one question also. So, so you don't intend to do any work to the exterior of the studio, right?
Just replace some windows.
Okay. This is more of a issue for the building inspector, but it just, the windows look kind of small, and I'm hoping there's enough for the natural light and ventilation requirements.
It gets a lot of natural light. This studio space gets a lot. It faces south, and there are 6 windows, 5 or 6 windows for a 400 square foot space. So it has abundant light and ventilation potential. And also I measure the windows and they suffice as a second means of egress.
That too. Okay. Those are my only concerns. I guess I also wanted to commend you for doing the right thing. It looks like this has been, what's the term? Illegal use up until now. Is that fair to say? Or a non-conforming?
It wasn't
use?
illegal until recently, when it was when a realtor, a packet was somehow submitted when it was for sale is when it became apparent that it had been used, so that's when the town first became aware of the use as a residential unit.
But it had been ongoing, recent residential use despite
Right. So
only being zoned as a 3.
really, it was kind of being used as an Airbnb hotel as its last use. More or less.
That's a whole other thing that we're gonna talk about soon, I guess. Anyway, thank you for doing the right thing,
You're welcome.
letting this continue as a incorrect use. That's it.
So, any other questions? Do we have a recommendation?
Sure. I move that the planning board recommend to the zoning board of appeals that the proposed project meets the criteria set forth under section 9.03C and 9.05B and is consistent with the general purpose of the zoning ordinance outlined in section 1.00. And that we recommend a special permit with site plan review be granted with the conditions noted in the staff report.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? I think you're in business.
Great, thank you very much.
2 weeks to deal with the zoning board. So, I'm gonna set a time limit here.
Time record.
Yeah, time limit. I mean, so, no further business? So, let's say we're adjourned.